like I'm so irritated, or I am extremely overwhelmed, or I have brain fog and I can't think. Hi you guys, welcome, and I am so absolutely excited to have a full dedicated menopause video, part one maybe for you guys. Everybody on Instagram has been asking me, please do a video on menopause, and I was like, yes. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. I am almost 51 years old. I haven't had my period in over a year, but perimenopause started really coming to get me in my late 40s, probably starting around 46, although I didn't really know what was going on. I just thought I was in a bad mood all the time. So let's talk about mood swings, hot flashes, and when they may come and they may not come. So first of all, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a regular person telling you about my experience with menopause. And as I speak, I'm actually having a hot flash right now. Believe it or not, I'm having them about twice an hour. So I have this little fan right here. I have it on Amazon, my Amazon store. I'll link everything below. I absolutely cannot live without this. I can't believe I waited so long to get it. It's so cute, but it's also a lifesaver. And I don't just use it for when I have a hot flash. It's got 2 speeds. I'm going to turn it up. I also use it for setting my makeup spray or my liquid lipstick, or just cooling me off at any point throughout the day. But let's get back to menopause. Okay, so when I first started experiencing the mood swings, I didn't know what was happening. All I knew is I was getting so irritated. Now, I was still getting my period once a month. It was a little off a few days here and there, but it had been like that my whole life. But the first thing I noticed was like noises and sounds, sights and smells all just seemed really amplified, like kind of how they did during pregnancy. And I started becoming very sensitive to everything. So the smallest little things would get me so irritated. And geez, it's been about 5 years of that. So it goes on and off. In the beginning, like I said, I didn't know what it was, and then it became more and more intense, and I said, hey, I gotta deal with this. So by the time I was 47, they were very prevalent in my life, the mood swings. So I started researching, I started going online. So there's a couple of people that I really want you guys to follow here on YouTube. One of them is Menopause Taylor, or Menopause Barbie. She's a gynecologist, and so I really want you to follow somebody who knows what they're talking about. And she gives you all types of options, all the facts, actually what is going on with your progesterone and your estrogen in your body. So she really breaks it down. She has this huge series, and I really love it if you want to get all the details and the facts. Another thing that I would recommend everybody get, if you're just even considering, am I having menopause, am I in perimenopause, is PERIMENOPOWER. This book is also on my Amazon store. I recommend it because Katerina Wilk, she's just positive. Like, I think the biggest part of starting the menopause process is you got to stay positive throughout the whole thing, because women in general don't want to even talk about menopause. And what I've learned is my friends don't even like talking about it. And when I ask them, hey, are you in menopause? Are you getting hot flashes? They're like, hee. Like, it's like talking about poop or something, or your period. Like, everybody gets embarrassed and doesn't want to talk about it. I have said to grown men, I'm having a hot flash, because yeah, I'm going to take it out of the closet. And they actually start giggling like a child. So this is how much we have kept menopause in the closet. So a big point of this video is just talking about it, getting it out of the closet, and having you have a large discussion about it with your friends and family, and not to be ashamed or embarrassed. Okay, it took us years to talk about the period. Now we can talk about the period pretty freely, although not completely freely, because did any of you see the Amy Schumer comedy special? It was actually on Netflix lately. When today, even when we were asking for a tampon, we'd still be like, hey, excuse me, do you have a tampon? Like, embarrassed by it. So we shouldn't be embarrassed. This is why we're a woman. This is why we can give birth. So all these things, but that's another story. Let me get back to the symptoms of perimenopause. Okay, there are 3 stages of menopause. There is perimenopause, and that can be from 10 years before you actually stop bleeding to menopause. They're all kind of, all 3 are kind of within the same like circle of what's called menopause. So perimenopause, menopause, and then postmenopause would be everything after you've gone through 12 months of not having your period. So if you don't have your period for 6 months, you might think you're in menopause, but if you get 1 drop of blood, guess what? You got to start all the way back from month 1, because it has to be 12 continuous months of no bleeding at all to be considered postmenopausal. But the whole circle of these different terms is all under menopause, okay? So what I'm hearing for many of you is that you're in perimenopause. So you're irritated, you have brain fog, you have menopause, as some people like to call it. So basically, it feels like you always have PMS, like your boobs are swollen, your stomach is swollen, and you're just tired, like lethargic. I was so tired, just like struggling for a year through work, just absolutely wanting to fall asleep at my desk. So that's when I started all the research. The first thing I did for mood swings was get a topical progesterone cream. So I will link what I have. It's also in my Amazon store. I want you guys to read all about it if you're worried about it. Definitely read about it first. And that's why I want you to also talk to your gynecologist if you're having major problems. Another thing is there's a lot of bad talk about HRT and you shouldn't do it for this reason or the other reason. Now I've gone natural through menopause and it has not been easy by no means, but if you guys are really struggling, please go see your gynecologist. Please consider going on hormone replacement therapy. Why not? There are different options. It's not, you want to talk to your doctor about what would suit you best. So here's no judgment here. If you need it and you're struggling, go for it, because it is not easy. Another thing that I really want you to do is talk to your family, because this whole hush-hush, keeping it a secret, and I think people don't want to talk about it because they think that if they talk about having menopause, that means they're not sexy anymore, they can't have children anymore, and they're like washed up and over. And absolutely, you are not washed up and over. So I want you to, first of all, just get rid of that idea that menopause is washed up and over, because for me personally, it's like this huge powerful thing in my life that has made me, well, geez, I got SEPHORA squad when I was 50 in full menopause. I mean, all these wonderful things have actually happened since menopause. So it's kind of, to me, it's a gift. I want you to change your attitude about it. That's huge. Another thing that I have done is change my diet. I was like vegan light a few years ago anyway, but I definitely think cutting out processed foods is the way to go. Cutting out caffeine could be something for you. Of course, I still drink coffee because I gotta have it. Alcohol is another thing that can really affect you with, just in general, if you're feeling crappy, you don't want to add alcohol to the mix. Although for me, when I would be so exhausted all day and just in a bad mood, I just wouldn't have a glass of wine and just relax. So I don't want to say give it up completely, just limit it. Another thing would be sugar. And the thing that I love about the Perimenopause Power Book is it actually goes through a lot of things that you can do to help you with your symptoms. Some more symptoms that are pretty intense is sleepless nights. So once you start having hot flashes, the sleep is minimal, depending on how often you get them. So me personally, they started off really light. So how does a hot flash start? It starts just like you're feeling like a little bit warm, like you can feel the skin getting warm. And that will go on and you're like, oh, hot flashes aren't that big of a deal. But through the next few months, they get increasingly more intense to the point where for me, at some point, I would like, my daughter was so wonderful. She would bring me my ice packs. It would be like on fire, just instantly. And so I do have some things here that I want to show you and talk to you about. Hot flashes. They are a very interesting phenomenon. And apparently your body's trying to cool itself off, and that's why you have the sweating. We don't actually know why. The body thinks it has to cool itself off, but it starts sweating, and menopause is still a mystery. I don't think a lot of money has been put into research for menopause or women in general, as we know. I think gynecologists have like a tiny, tiny little part of training, like not even a day's worth of training on menopause. So frustrating. So a lot we don't know about why this is happening to us, but what you can do is try and be positive about it and get knowledgeable. Another thing that I think is huge is you have to talk to your family about what is going on. Talk to your spouse, your husband, your wife, whatever. Your children have to know. I sat down with my daughter. We had a long talk. She was going through her hormonal puberty changes and I was going through menopause. I let her know straight up what was happening. I did not want her to think mommy was mad, because I would yell and snap, and I was like outright mean. And I would have to go back to her and say, this is why mommy acted like this. This is what's going on with mommy. And it's not an excuse, but it was something that we could share and it's something that she really needed to know about, and now she knows so much about menopause, and I feel really proud because when it happens to her, she will know, but also she's knowledgeable about what's going on in the human body for women and girls because she's getting her period and I have now lost mine. So back to hot flashes. Hot flashes can make sleep impossible. So a few things that you must get. Get a fan and put it by your bed and turn that puppy on. I turn this little guy on twice every hour just for a few seconds. The thing about once you start cooling off, you get freezing, so you have to put all your covers back on, and then you get hot again. So I get them twice an hour. That's not great. Some people only get them a couple of times a night. If they start getting really, really bad, something that I would recommend is peppermint spray. You can spray this topically right on you. This is Nature's Truth peppermint spray. This is also in my Amazon store. You can actually just spray it right onto your skin and it will immediately give you a cooling effect. I love bringing this with me to work. It smells like peppermint, so, but oh well. I would rather have a little smell of peppermint. It kind of smells like spearmint gum, you know, peppermint gum. And another thing, if it gets, your hot flashes become so unbearable at night that you're not sleeping. There were days where I didn't sleep at all. I got this. It's not a humidifier, but the Essentials Wellness little kit. I'll write down all the information on this. Of course, I can't see because I don't have my readers. But you plug it in, and then you put an essential oil, like not the spray, but peppermint in it, and just keep it running all night long. And when the peppermint is in your air that you breathe in, you actually will not wake up from menopause, hot flashes and night sweats. This was actually a lifesaver for me when my hot flashes were so bad. Actually, I have to put this in my Amazon store. Let me do that for you guys. My hot flashes were so bad that I couldn't sleep at all. It was just debilitating. So I started using this every night. I only had to use this for a couple of weeks, and then my hot flashes went away. So the thing about your hormones and hot flashes is it's going to be a roller coaster. So some days you're going to have crazy hot flashes, and then they're going to subside, and you're going to have no hot flashes for a couple of months, and then they'll start coming back. For me, in my personal experience, I preferred having the hot flashes because when I was not having the hot flashes, I was more moody. So as soon as my hot flashes started, my moods would elevate. Almost very similar to like the whole PMS, the whole 1 month cycle, you know, you get like irritated before your period, and then you get like constipated and bloated, and then you get your period and those symptoms kind of all fall off, but then you get cramping, and the whole like kind of circle of life happens, right? It's very similar with your hormones when you're going through menopause. So what I've read and what I've heard is it can last anywhere from 10 years, from like 1 or 2 years all the way up to 10 years, all the way from 45 to 55, or from 40, from the beginning of perimenopause all the way to 60. I hear some people saying they're still getting hot flashes, or they got hot flashes for 5 years, 6 years. So everybody's different, but there are some things that you can do to help, like diet. And then another thing that I cannot say enough is exercise. Exercise, 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 because well, first, it's going to help with carrying any extra weight from the bloat. It's kind of just like the same PMS that you get, the bloat from PMS. You're going to get that in perimenopause, but it's never going to go away. You never get the relief of getting the period, which then makes you feel better because you don't get the relief because the period never comes. So another thing to kind of be aware of as you walk into this new part of your life is that there is going to be some bloat, some extra weight. So go ahead and work out just like you always have. If you haven't started a workout plan, you can follow me here. I have over 100 workouts. They're more intermediate. So if you're just starting to work out, I would definitely start a walking plan. Walking is the best. Fix your diet. Get rid of processed foods. Try and limit your dairy. Try and limit your meat. I would try to get rid of meat, period. Personally, just get rid of it. But if you cannot, stick to organic chickens and fish. Eat lots of vegetables. Get your sleep. So if you're not having sleep problems, just get your sleep. Focus on your sleep so your mood can be better. Definitely recommend a topical progesterone cream if you're in perimenopause for mood swings. And then another thing that I would recommend that you get if you really can't handle it is get some CBD oil. Get some CBD oil or balm. You don't have to have THC in it. If you want to add a little THC, go for it because to me, it's all natural and it's better than going on some sort of synthetic pills. But again, it's up to you. CBD oil, I think you can get it without the THC anywhere. Obviously, it's legal in many states. I used this a little bit when I was really suffering, but it didn't really help me too much. THC doesn't ordinarily help me a lot. I know it helps many people with pain, but it might just relax you on those very stressful evenings of no sleep. Menopause, perimenopause is rough. It's rough on everybody. It's rough on everyone around you. The most important thing that I can say to you is your attitude about the whole thing. You've got to stay positive. You have to know that we're in a community of women and we're all going through this together. And the more knowledgeable that you and your family and your friends are about menopause, the better that you are going to get through it. Because I have heard my friends are like, I'm so irritated, or I am extremely overwhelmed, or I have brain fog and I can't think. Or it just takes me forever to do the stuff that used to take me 10 minutes. Now it takes me like 3 hours to get out of the house. These are all normal things. So first of all, don't beat yourself up. Do not judge yourself, because we are all going through this. This is completely a natural thing that occurs with every woman. So no woman that you know has gotten out of her life without getting her period or going through menopause, right? It's all part of being a woman. Losing estrogen is hard, because estrogen is the hormone that makes us feminine, right? That gives us the breasts and the soft skin and the hair. So there are definitely some things that happen when the estrogen starts dropping, like your hair starts thinning out a lot. So I've done some videos on how to get the volume back on thinning hair. I should probably do a whole menopause series on that. If you guys want to see that, go ahead and link it below. Your skin gets really dry. Estrogen is the hormone that makes your skin supple and soft and full with collagen. So your skin's going to get a lot drier. So we have to start using new products to kind of like plump us up. I would definitely recommend hyaluronic acid, a vitamin C serum. Anytime hormones are going crazy, you need sunscreen, SPF. I'll put some links of the ones that I like below. I love Neutrogena. But yeah, there are things that you can do and that you need to do. You are a grown woman now, and hey, we're going to get through this. And before I finish this all off, because I don't want this to be negative, I want you to find really like the golden nugget or whatever you can at the end of the rainbow. The treasure chest of all of this is that, you know, becoming a more mature woman just means that you have so much more power over your life. You're not going to listen to what people say anymore. You're going to really go for your dreams. This is your chance. A lot of you, your kids are out of the house. I had my daughter very late, so she's still just a tween, but many of you, your kids are in college, so this is really your opportunity to start over. And it can be extremely powerful. Hot flashes my challenge was always on Instagram, I always say, make your hot flashes sexy. Can you change your mindset? Maybe it's like really sexy to get hot. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have to be this really negative thing. Really, really talk to everybody about it, because there's a lot of problems. People can get divorced when the husband or doesn't know that his wife is going through menopause and just thinks she's just so irritated and overwhelmed and having panic attacks and anxiety and can't sleep and gaining weight and all these terrible things. So that's why everybody in the family needs to know about what's going on. If your husband doesn't know about what's going on, he can read this book. Your partner, whoever, if your partner is a woman, maybe she's going through menopause at the same time, or maybe she's 10 years younger than you, or she needs to be knowledgeable about it. It doesn't matter if you have boys or girls. Everybody needs to know. Your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. I would recommend that you talk to everybody. You are a resource to everybody. So once you get knowledgeable, you can share. And then we can take menopause out of the closet, be happy and proud that we're mature, beautiful, strong, powerful women that can do whatever we want. And that leads me to my final thought, which is, now that you are at this incredible, powerful place in your life, go ahead and do something that you've always wanted to do before in your life. You might finally have the opportunity to do it, and I would like you to go and pursue your dreams. Go after whatever it is that you wanted. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to work with SEPHORA. I wanted to work with makeup artists and fashion designers and accessories, and all my dreams didn't start even becoming a reality until I was 45, when I started to start my channel. All these wonderful things happened. I hope this whole change of your life can be a really positive time, not something negative. We all get to go through this together. I hope this is just a very the beginning to a long conversation about menopause here on my channel, and that we can take it out of the closet and be proud to go to work and say, hey, I'm having a hot flash, so I'm gonna need to take a little break right now. Or, you know, in other countries in Europe, they're actually starting to get some disability related to menopause, just like they would for being pregnant. And I think it is something that really we need to look at here in the United States, because for some people it is extremely debilitating. So again, if you're having extreme problems that you cannot handle, go to your gynecologist. Just because I've gone through it naturally, in no means does that mean that you should or you should have to. Just take care of yourself, do what's right for you. Again, the book PeriMenopOWER, love it. There's probably lots of other books that you can read on it. Menopause Taylor on here on YouTube. I'm gonna link her below because I really love her. She's also on Instagram. I hope you guys love this video. I cannot wait to hear about all your symptoms. Tell me your symptoms. Tell me if you're in perimenopause. Tell me if you're postmenopause. Tell me if after you stop bleeding, how long are you having your hot flashes? Tell me when your hot flashes come. Tell me how long your hot flashes last. Tell me your night sweat routine. Do you have to take all your clothes off? Do you have fans? Give me your tips and tricks. I want to hear your tips and tricks of what you guys use to help subside any of the symptoms of menopause. And are you on HRT? Are you on bioidentical hormone replacements? What are you doing for menopause? Are you talking to your family about it? I want to hear everything. So this is more like me asking you questions. This is just the start of the conversation. I am so excited because I could talk about this forever, and glad that fan is handy because it's been 20 minutes. I'm about to have another hot flash. You guys, thank you so much for following me here on YouTube for the last 5 years. All my subscribers, thank you so much. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on IGTV. I did an incredible skincare video for Sephora that has at this point over 500,000 views. So happy to be in the Sephora squad, so I will link it below right under the description straight away so you can take a look at that. If you don't work out with me, I have over 100 videos right here, and yeah, I'm just so happy to be sharing. Honored to be the only 50+ member on Sephora Squad, so I can show you beautiful makeup and skincare, and yeah, like, so mature women can start taking over the world. Okay, you guys, thank you so much, and remember, you can have anything you want in life. Just how bad do you want it? How bad are you willing to work for it? And that's all she wrote. Bye, guys. I could talk about menopause for days. I didn't know how much I had to say about it, but apparently I got a lot to say about the menopause. Hot flash up in here.